So these are the most powerful guilds in solo leveling. What if I told you that guilds in solo leveling are so wealthy they can rival the world's biggest corporations? Their influence is enough to sway even governments, and their power is equal to the strength of an entire nation. And you'll also see how much some of these hunters charge for their services. With this type of power, these hunters are unstoppable. Now let's start with one of the top guilds in South Korea, the Night Guild. This guild is active in the Yeongnam region. And what's really interesting about them is they have 0 S-rank hunters, even their guildmaster. So how did they even make it in the top 10? Because the good news is the Knights Guild has the highest number of A-rank hunters out of any other guild in South Korea, even though that actually became a problem later on in the story, as you'll find out. So the Night Guild first appeared in chapter 91. Before the 4th Jeju Island raid. The guildmaster Park Jong-soo was angry when he heard the Japanese interpreter Hanekawa underestimated South Korea's S-rank hunters. And this is one of the most interesting things that happened before the Jeju Island raid. The sparring match. Since Park Jong-soo and Hanekawa both pissed each other off, they started to spar. Jong-soo made the rules. The first person to grab the opponent's wrist wins. The one who gets their wrist caught loses. Even though Park Jung-soo is an A-rank hunter, he easily dodged Hanekawa's attacks with his hands in his pockets. And bro was so fast and strong, he managed to kick Hanekawa's hands while she was attacking. And Jung-soo was so powerful, but he also ripped his pants. Though even with ripped pants, he still managed to defeat Hanekawa. But why is Jung-soo this strong? Because he's not only a guild master, Park was also a tank, meaning that every time they raided a dungeon, he was always at the front lines. And just like any hunter in South Korea, he also experienced running into troublemakers, which means sometimes he had to fight people, he sometimes had to kill them. There are also other interesting members of the guild as well, especially the vice guild master, Jung Yoon-tae. And Jung is one of the strongest in their guild, which he showed when they entered the huge gate in Gwangali Beach, Busan. Jung Yoon-tae is a master swordsman who's fast and strong, as he easily blinded a twin-headed ogre with one swing. Another interesting hunter in the Night Guild, Jung Ye-rim. She's a Korean A-rank healer, plus the main healer of the Night Guild's elite strike squad, meaning she's a very strong healer. We get it. She also had a crazy skill called Sacred Shield, where she can create a large golden magical shield to block off enemies. The shield is very sturdy, to the point that it can hold off an army of undead or A-rank monsters for a few minutes. Though Knights Guild might not have the strongest hunters, but one of their great traits is their teamwork. I mean, back at the gate in Busan, when Park tanked the attack of the ogre, Jung quickly followed up and blinded the monster. After that, 2 fighters quickly cut down the monster's legs, while the mages did the finishing blow. The Night Guild also had an alliance with the Ajin Guild, which is one of the strongest guilds in South Korea, as you'll find out more about that later in the video. So Park Jun-soo managed to persuade Jinwoo to accompany the Night Guild to go on a raid for the biggest gate that appeared in Busan. Well, actually, the true reason for that is since the Night Guild had 0 S-rank hunters, the Hunter Association won't allow them to enter the gate. That is why Park Jung-soo asked Jinwoo to join them so the association will allow them to enter the gate. Next, the Fiend Guild, which people call the Grim Reapers or the Reapers Guild because of their logo. The guild is active around the Seoul metropolitan area in South Korea. And did you know that the Fiend Guild was once the strongest guild in South Korea? However, after the White Tiger Guild split from the Reapers, they lost their top spot, and the White Tiger even surpassed the Reapers. Now, the guildmaster of the Fiend Guild is none other than Lim Tae-gyu. He's a South Korean S-rank Ranger class hunter. We saw his strength during the 4th Jeju Island raid, especially with the long-range attacks because Lim can create magic arrows. And as long as he has hands, bro will never run out of arrows. However, if his enemies get close to him, he'll be kinda useless, since he's not that great at hand-to-hand combat. We didn't get to see any other named hunters from this guild except for this one guy, Lee Min-sung, and we don't need to talk about him because this guy was a total wuss. But wait, as a side question, you might be thinking, how do you become a guild master anyway? Well, in solo leveling, it wasn't difficult for someone to get a guild master's license. A hunter just had to participate in at least 20 raids. After that, they could get a license once they passed a simple written test. See? Easy. Unless you die before you get the 20 raids. This is also the reason why Jinho asked Jinwoo to help him raid 20 dungeons. So the real question might be, is this license or test really that important? I mean, who on earth would want to join a guild with an inexperienced dumbass guildmaster? You tell me that. By the way, a guildmaster has insane authority. The light novel explains that a guildmaster could take full control in a serious conflict, even if they were just hired by the company's owner. This is a huge problem, especially if the guildmaster isn't completely loyal to that company. Though, there is an interesting solution to this problem, and that is to hire a guildmaster who would never betray the employer, for example, a brother or a son. This is the case with Yujin Construction, the company owned by Jinwoo's dad. So Chairman Yu planned to make Jin Sung the vice guildmaster and hire an S-rank hunter as the guildmaster. And as I said earlier, this idea was a bit risky, especially if the guildmaster isn't totally loyal to the company. That's why Jinwoo asked Jinwoo to help him complete 19 more raids, to avoid his father taking such a risk, and possibly to gain his father's recognition as well. Next, the Fiend Guild. This guild operates in the Honam region. Their logo, which features a chubby knight wearing a crown. Wow, sounds like me when I was younger, after eating Burger King. And wearing that, you know, they used to give crowns, like the king's crowns back in the day. You guys know what I'm talking about at Burger King? Anyways, their logo, which features a chubby knight wearing a crown, likely represents their guild master, Ma Dong-wook, because he's a big guy who, when fighting, wears full armor like a knight. By the way, Ma Dong-wook is also one of South Korea's top 10 S-rank hunters. Dong-wook is a tank-class hunter, and one of his crazy skills is gigantification. Ma doesn't just grow bigger, amps up his strength too. We all saw how strong he was during the 4th Jeju Island raid. After the sparring match between Goto Ryuji and Sung Jinwoo, Ma Dong-wook invited Jinwoo to join the Fiend Guild, noting that their guild had more mages than fighters. Then Choi Jong-in jumped in to clarify that Jinwoo is actually a class mage hunter, which surprised Dong-wook because Jinwoo, didn't look like one. Next we have the White Tiger Guild, and the guild master is none other than Bak Yeon-hoo. The White Tiger Guild quickly became one of the most respected and powerful guilds in South Korea, even more successful than the Fiend Guild it originated from. The White Tiger is active in the Seoul metropolitan area. The guild's logo? A badass white tiger. This is probably one of my favorite logos, I'm just being honest. A badass white tiger symbolizes the power of their guild master, Bak Yeon-hoo, who can transform into a beast that also looks like a white tiger. What's interesting about this guild is their unique way of training new recruits, letting those noobs join raids with the White Tiger Guild's strongest members into low-ranking gates. We saw this in action during the Red Gate incident. We also noticed other powerful hunters in this guild. First up, we got Kim Chol, but you know him as Iron. Before he became a shadow, Kim was an A-rank tank-class hunter and one of the top hunters in the White Tiger Guild. It was also mentioned that Kim Chol received special training and was set to join the elite strike squad of the guild before his death during the Red Gate incident. Kim was very strong. He could single-handedly defeat a group of ice bears and easily carry a huge shield and hammer that was as big as him. As a tank, Kim was tough. He could handle attacks from ice bears without getting hurt and was okay even when Jinwoo forcefully pushed him against a tree. But since Kim Chol was an a-hole and tried to kill Jinwoo, Jinwoo finished him off and turned Kim into one of his shadow soldiers, naming him Iron. Next, this lady, Park Hee-jin. She's a B-rank healer and one of the 5 survivors during the Red Gate incident. Guilds scout for talented hunters, especially those with high skills, B rank and above, and quickly train them to be battle ready because deaths or injuries can't be avoided inside dungeons. That's why besides hunters, every guild also has staff members to handle all the hiring and managing tasks. Just so you understand, in the White Tiger Guild, there are the 1st and 2nd administration teams. The 1st admin team manages the schedule for the guild's hunters, while the 2nd admin team is in charge of recruiting new members and training them. And there are 2 main reasons guilds hire more hunters. First, that a guild wouldn't last if it didn't maintain the minimum number of members. Second, hiring a super strong hunter could mean a lot of money for the guild. Imagine one hunter clearing out multiple dungeons in a single day. That will lead to crazy amounts of cash, meaning stronger hunter equals more cash, more money for the guild. That's why the department chief of the White Tiger Guild, An Sang-min, tried to recruit Sung Jinwoo for this exact reason. Sang-min's attempt to recruit Jinwoo into the White Tiger Guild not only failed, but also ended with him getting scammed by Jinwoo. But did you know that according to the light novel, Sang-min was one of the reasons why the White Tiger Guild became one of the top guilds in South Korea? Thanks to his intuition, Sang-min, who became a department manager at a young age, played a huge role in pushing the White Tiger Guild to the top. And this same intuition was now telling him that Sung Jinwoo might be able to take the White Tiger Guild to the next level? Well, Sangmin's intuition was right, because if Jinwoo actually joined the White Tiger, it wouldn't only be the strongest in South Korea, but the #1 in the world. Now for the biggest guild among the top South Korean guilds, the Hunters Guild. They were once the #1 guild in South Korea, until another guild surpassed them. What I like about their logo is that it likely represents the 3 main roles for hunters: the shield for tanks, the swords for fighters, and the arrow for long-range classes like archers. The Hunters Guild is active in the Seoul metropolitan area, and this is the only guild in Korea to have 2 S-rank hunters. Since the Hunters Guild is the biggest guild in Korea, this guild has 2 special teams instead of just one. Choi Jong-in and Cha Hae-in led the first team, which is composed entirely of strong A-rank hunters. The second team is led by Song Kin-hoon and includes both A-rank and B-rank hunters. These 2 teams actually made the Hunters Guild the only guild in South Korea with the power to attack 2 A-rank gates at the same time with 2 separate teams. The guildmaster of the Hunters Guild, Choi Jong-in, is so strong that he's known as the ultimate soldier. He's an S-rank hunter, really good at using fire magic, like creating spears of flame, summoning fire dragons, and casting fire prison. However, despite his mage strength, Jinwoo mentioned that Choi's vice guildmaster, Cha Hae-in, is even stronger. There are other interesting hunters as well, like Son Ki-hoon. He's an A-rank tank and one of the top hunters in the guild. He also leads the Hunters Guild's Strike Team B, as I mentioned earlier. We first met him at the A-rank gate with High Orcs. Ki-hoon, a competent leader and strong hunter, finds himself at a disadvantage against stronger enemies, like Kargilgin. There are also strong A-rank hunters like Gina, a mage with telekinesis, though not as powerful as Ruler's Authority. Another mage, Lee Bora, specializes in summoning magic. In addition to the hunters, the Hunters Guild has its own mining team, responsible for gathering mana crystals inside dungeons. Interestingly, Choi tried to recruit Jinwoo, and Choi thought, if the Hunters Guild had 3 S-rank hunters, it would not only become South Korea's strongest, but could also compete with the world's top guilds. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because Jinwoo instantly rejected Choi's offer. Next up is Japan's strongest guild, the Draw Sword Guild. Their logo shows 2 crossed katanas, and the Draw Sword Guild is known as Asia's 2nd largest guild. Plus, they're the only guild with 11 named S-rank hunters, not including their former guildmaster, Goto Ryuji. But when he died in Jeju Island, Reiji Sugimoto took over as the new guildmaster of the Draw Sword Guild. Other powerful members include Kenzo Tanaka, who could single-handedly take on an army of ants. Izawa could outrun most ants. Kei's got ice magic and such a sharp sense for mana detection, that's why he wears a face mask all the time. However, only a few of them survived the 4th Jeju Island raid. Under Goto Ryuji, the Draw Sword Guild's relationship with Korea's S-rank hunters wasn't exactly sunny, especially since Ryuji looked down on the Korean hunters. Even with Cha Hae-in on the team, Ryuji considered her pretty mid compared to his own hunters. Well, Goto Ryuji might sound cocky, but he was actually really strong. I mean, his strikes are so fast that he could release wind blasts at his opponents. Plus, he was so strong that bro doesn't even need a sword, because his hands were practically swords. Like when Goto fought Jinwoo, he managed to scratch Jinwoo's face. First of all, I was pissed, guys. I don't know about you, right? Because that's my boy's face, you know what I'm saying? And remember, Jinwoo was a tank even back then. However, despite his strength and speed, Ryuji couldn't stop the anking and was killed. Only Tawata, Kumamoto, Hoshino, and Sugimoto survived the raid. After Ryuji's death and the loss of 7 S-rank hunters, the Draw Sword Guild's global reputation isn't what it once was. Next, the Richter Guild, the strongest guild in Germany, led by Lennart Nierman. Not much is known about this guild, but like most guild masters, Lennart attends the International Guild Conference yearly, showing his and his guild's commitment to their duties. Lennart is a powerhouse, wielding the charge ability with fancy transparent teal-colored gauntlets to shoot powerful mana blasts. One great thing about Lennart, he was a humble man and incredibly perceptive. Plus, when the Monarch of Fangs, Raken, defeated Thomas Andre, Lennart faced Raken even though he knew he was weaker. The guy had courage, my guys. Here's why. Because in the light novel, Lennart swore an oath to himself that once he became a hunter, he'd never turn his back on an ally. And even though Thomas wasn't a guildmate, Lennart still counted him as a comrade. Leonard didn't give a damn if Raken was 100 times stronger than him because Leonard had made a promise. Next, China. There are actually two known guilds under China. Liu Zigang's unnamed guild and the Gold Dragon Guild. And there's actually something tragic that happened to the Gold Dragon Guild. So, as I mentioned earlier, Japan's Draw Sword Guild holds the record for the most named S ranks in the series. But do you know what they don't have? A national rank hunter. Plus, did you know that China has its own unique ranking system? Unlike the E to S ranks in other countries, hunters in China are graded from 1 to 5 stars. And Liu is so overpowered, he's the only Chinese hunter with 7 stars. Wow, it's not like he's 1 in a billion people with 7 stars in such a massive country or anything. Liu is also so strong that people straight up call him the hero of China. He showed this strength by effortlessly defeating hundreds of ants with a single strike. While in Tokyo, Japan, when one giant managed to swim across the ocean to China, Liu defeated this giant as well. And remember, he's also a ruler's vessel. And as you probably know, a ruler is like a god in solo leveling. Now what happened to the Gold Dragon Guild, or aka the Yellow Dragon Guild? This powerhouse guild in China was wiped out by an Arc Lich, a magic beast capable of summoning countless powerful undead, such as Death Knights, which typically require multiple A-rank hunters to defeat. The Gold Dragon Guild underestimated the Arc Lich's power, failed to close the gate, and caused a dungeon break. If you're unfamiliar with that, a dungeon break allows monsters from inside the dungeon to come out and attack people. But this total disaster was saved and prevented all thanks to Liu Zigang. Next, the Scavenger Guild, the strongest guild in America. Now, their logo looks kind of like a hyena, and it makes sense because hyenas are both scavengers and hunters. Just like the Scavenger Guild is a group of hunters. Coincidence? I think not. The Scavenger Guild's guildmaster is Thomas Andre, the #1 national hunter. This guild, by the way, is also very wealthy. One example, Thomas straight up wagered the entire Scavenger Guild's building on Jinwoo because he knew that Jinwoo would defeat the giants in Tokyo. When Japan tried to deal with their S-rank gate, the Japanese government mentioned that Thomas Andre was too expensive to hire. Even Yuri himself said that his $10 billion daily fee for sealing the gate was much cheaper. And do you know how much Thomas charges according to Yuri? Bruh, $36 trillion. No cap. So if Japan hired Thomas Andre, they'd be broke. So how does raiding dungeons make so much money? As explained in the light novel, the earnings from high-ranked dungeons were beyond imagination. They were the reason large guilds were able to grow into entities rivaling mega corporations. Highly valuable essence stones, remnants of magic beasts, minerals excavated from dungeons, rune stones, artifacts, untold sums of money flowed from those dungeons. Now what makes these dungeon items very expensive? Well, items like rune stones are very expensive because a hunter can obtain unique and powerful skills with them, while monster corpses can be used to craft powerful items or weapons. Hence why the price. So guilds were formed not only to keep people safe, but also as a huge opportunity for hunters to grow stronger and to earn a lot of cash flow. That's why guilds make as much money as big companies by raiding dungeons. So it doesn't matter if you're Steve Jobs or Elon Musk, because a powerful guild can make as much money as these business titans, or possibly even surpass them. To be honest, it sounds fair to give hunters a lot of money, because they're literally risking their lives inside these dungeons, in my opinion. And look at the death rate, look at the risk of the job. Okay, back to the main topic, the Scavenger Guild. The guild is massive. They've got enough members to clear gates that other countries can't even touch. Also, joining the Scavenger Guild is like getting diplomatic immunity. Basically, no one can mess with you if you're in the Scavenger Guild, not even the US government. Remember Hwang Dong-soo? He's a Korean S-rank hunter who rolled with America's strongest guild. Looked like nobody could touch him with Thomas having his back. Yet that didn't work against one powerful hunter. Thomas is also a ruler's vessel, capable of using telekinesis so strong it works like a black hole. He's also got reinforcement, amp up his tanky build even more. With that power, he went toe-to-toe with the king of beasts, the Raken. But there was that one person that even Thomas Andre was unable to defeat. And that is Song Jin Him. The Jinwoo Master. He's the guild master of the strongest guild in South Korea. Wait, actually the strongest guild in the world. The Ajin Guild. Ajin is actually the smallest guild on our list with 3 official members. I don't know, I think we should be counting the shadows as guild members maybe. Like Jinho, the vice guild master, is a D-rank tank class hunter. He might not be one of the strongest hunters in the world, but he's smart and responsible. And their 3rd member, Yoo So-yin, Jinho's cousin. This girl is a famous South Korean actress and model. She's also an A-rank hunter. We didn't get to see her in action, but what we do know is one thing for sure. This girl is hot. Also, the name Ajin comes from combining Chinese characters. A means I and Jin means to go forward. In short, Ajin means I move forward. And kudos to Jinha on this one, because if she hadn't brought this up, Jinwoo would have literally named the guild Solo Player Guild. But cuters, what do you think is the meaning of the Ajin Guild's logo? Is it Kaizel? The Grim Reaper? A shady guy with a hoodie? To be honest, I don't know what the heck this logo is, so just let me know what you think it is in the comments. Now, the Ajin Guild first got recognized when Jinwoo joined the Knights Guild raid on that big-ass gate in Busan. That's where Beru easily killed the dungeon boss, an Arc Lich who was supposed to be super strong. Like I mentioned, this Lich destroyed one of China's strongest guilds. Jinwoo can also easily kill this dungeon boss, but at this time he had to save his little sister, Jinha, from the random gate that spawned inside her school. So what makes the Ajin Guild stronger than the rich and mighty Scavengers Guild? Bro, Jinwoo defeated many powerful hunters like Goto Ryuji, who almost peed his pants just fighting Jinwoo. And Jinwoo even destroyed Hwang Dong-soo and Thomas Andre on the same night. Bra is packing. And most importantly, Jinwoo saved the world many times from multiple cosmic beings, like the Monarchs, especially against the most powerful of them all, the Dragon King, the Monarch of Destruction, Antares. Jinwoo even went back in time to save the world again. Plus, even without shadows, Jinwoo is still very powerful, to the point where he can solo any S-rank dungeon with super strength, speed, tough armor, godlike power, and as you know, so much more. I know Ajin is like 100% carried by Jinwoo and his shadow army. I think they're like individual members, if you ask me. But that doesn't mean that the other guild members are useless. I mean, Jinho sometimes joins raids, and sometimes he's just carrying Jinwoo's bags. Outside the gates, Jinho is the guy handling the paperwork, while Soo-hyun, well, she just exists so that Ajin can become an official guild. Okay, so yeah, I take it back. These guys are kind of useless. Regardless, without many hunters as guild members, Jinwoo's shadows can actually fill those positions because each of his shadows fits into different classes. Like Iron is a tank class, Tusk as a mage, Beru, Igris, and Belion as badass fighter class. Not to mention the 10 million shadows that can easily destroy the world.